is the moment I waited for my whole life. Yeah. Just a vessel for his glory, let it shine. Alright, Father, shine your light on me. Yeah, let it shine. Thankful for this life, cause it was never mine. Prophecy got me thinking ahead of time. Slaves and 9 yokes, singing swing low, sweet chariot. Through all that oppression, he was there with us. And angels fall like show them their heritage. Separate the wheat and tares. Tell them about their curses so they be aware. Yeah, the spirit in you is priceless. Consider the lilies. They more arrayed than Solomon in all of his glory. Appreciate creation, that's my favorite part of the story. Straighten up your crown, king. Go and tell our people about him. Do work if you able-bodied. This my gift, it ain't a hobby. And it's obvious. Looking at Deuteronomy like, this might be us. And this could be our last shot. It's no better time than right now. Remember in your lifetime, you should let your light shine. This little light, I'ma let it shine. Alright. This is the moment I waited for my whole life. Yeah. Just a vessel for his glory, let it shine. Alright. Father, shine your light on me. Yeah. Words can never say. Tell me what's worse, never attempting to fulfill your calling, or shooting at the wrong target, even though you put your heart in an objective, different than what you expected. Project dreams got me thinking about my innocence, wishing that I could begin again. Enter the kingdom as an infant, it was simple then. No backbiting, nobody envying. Just because you not famous don't mean you not the chosen. And it don't make me righteous because I quote the scripture. Keep it solid, the Father's watching, he noticed the difference. Listen, I would never do this for attention. All esteem to the Father, Kahalayim La'aba. Keep it humble, this gift was given, I don't deserve it. The rock, you only wanna shine, I see some souls converted. A solid brother gon' lift you up when you feel discouraged. Never oppress you. Listen, family, you like Father, help me reach him in 60 seconds. I vow to follow Messiah and never look down on my brethren. Stick to your objective no matter how small it is. He gon' judge you by your actions, not by your audience. Somebody close to you might give up if you call it quits. It's obvious, we at the end, they know what time it is. And this could be our last shot. It's no better time than right now. Remember in your lifetime, gonna let your light shine. Let it shine, alright. This is the moment, yeah. My whole life, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like a child who lost his way, I cling on to a piece of what was. Before they took away our home and heritage, Jerusalem. Curses on curses, 7 times more it worsens. I just want to know. I just want a piece of what was. How do I sing a song of praise in a strange land? We hope for home, salvation. We hope for New Jerusalem, for peace, and a piece of what was.
All right, shalom, shalom. We back at it again. First and foremost, just want to give all the praises, the glory, and the honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Chakwadash. Also want to give double honors to all the elders Now the Akim out here that's laboring in his word and truth and in sincerity, doing everything to make your calling and election sure. Shalom to y'all and y'all families. I also want to say shalom to all the Akim and the Akwatim out there. It's out there receiving, learning, believing, and keeping the faith. Shalom to y'all and y'all families as well. It's a brother Malak Amawan, back in the spirit once again, here to feed the lambs and the sheep of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, and Lord will. This lesson is edifying for the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel and the nation of Israel only. The nation of Israel consists of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and also you speckled bird out there who over time, through the scattering of our nation, have taken on the look of the heathen, but your spirit goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom to all the listeners and the learners. And today is going to go into another edition into the Here Comes the Storm series with these mandates, man. And you know what's crazy about this? These mandates. We told y'all this was coming, man. We told y'all the storm of mandates was coming. A few weeks ago, it came out saying all all like employers, corporate employers with over 1,000 employees were having to a certain date. I forgot the exact date, it was October something. To I think it was October 6th, but Salat, I don't remember exactly the date. We'll have until around October 6th or so to jab all the employees, man. All the employees all the employees will have to take the jab. If you have over 1,000 employees, and we're starting to see that come in full swing in some of the major states, some of these big time corporations. And we told y'all this was coming, man. You can't outrun prophecy. Prophecy is going to speak. And I want to get a few scriptures before we start the bulk of this lesson and go into these articles, because we're seeing that devil is coming down with that great wrath, and these mandates are just getting more and more and more. And it's coming to a city near you. It's coming to your job. It's coming to all of us, man. All of our jobs, all of our stores, all of our things that we deem necessity is coming, man. It's just a matter of time. It's a trickle-down effect. It starts in the big cities, then it trickles down to the other big-time cities, but less like it's starting in LA. You got California and New York, and then Chicago is probably going to be shortly afterwards. And then it's going to be your Detroits, your Atlantas, your Miamis, your Phillies, your Phoenixes, your DCs, places like that. Your second-tier cities. They're just going to trickle down to everybody, man. It's just a trickle-down effect, just gradualism. You know what I'm saying? That's all. It's just gradual trickle down. That's all it is, man. We told y'all this was coming, but let's get a precept, because you can't outrun prophecy, man. Prophecy is always going to speak. So, like, you're just trying to find this book right here, one of the smaller books. Oh, here we go. Salaki, I had to find that book. It's always tough finding these little smaller books and whatnot. But this is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, and verse. I'm gonna start at 2. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So we've been telling y'all this was coming, man. The vision ain't gonna tarry. Prophecy, prophecy, it's gonna tarry, but prophecy won't, not come to pass. Prophecy won't halt like completely. Prophecy will always speak. You know what I'm saying? So we told y'all this was coming, and now we seen the effects of it, man. We told y'all that the devil would come down with great wrath. We told y'all that that the jab wasn't the end all be all. It was just getting people some of the population jab wasn't the end all be all. They're going for everybody, man. They're going for blood, man. They're going for broke, man. They're going for everybody, and they using that trickle. It's trickling down, starting with the quote unquote highly essential people, is going down to the everyday average person who works in these certain fields and whatnot. It's coming, man. So that's why the scriptures say despise not prophesying, because if you despise the prophecies, man, you ultimately, you despise the words of Yahweh because they are prophecy laden. You don't like the words of the Lord. The words of the Lord don't sit well with you. And ultimately, that means you won't be prepared when prophecy does finally speak, when that vision finally comes to pass, when it's no longer tarrying and it's literally playing out in everyday life, man. You're not going to have the right mindset, and you're not going to be equipped with the right mindset to take that head on and move and shake, man, and be stable, because you despise the prophesyings, man. You didn't want to take heed. And I want to get this right here as well, because we've been telling y'all this was coming, man. But Jake, you got to listen, man. You got to listen. It's Ezekiel 33, and I'm going to start at 30. And shalom to the brother, Mr. Sanjan, 144, shalom, Yahweh Bashmi, Shabbat to you. The water for coming through once again, brother. But this is Ezekiel 33 and 30. And thou, also thou son of man, the children of thy people still are talking against thee by the walls and in the doors of the houses, and speak one to another, everyone to his brother, saying, come, I pray you, and hear what is the word that cometh forth from the Lord. And they come unto thee as the people cometh, and they sit before thee as many people, and they hear thy words, but they will not do them. For with their mouth they show much love, but their heart goeth after their covetousness. And lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song of one that hath a pleasant voice, and can play well on an instrument, for they hear thy words, but they do them not. And when this cometh to pass, lo, it come, then shall they know that a prophet have been among them. So y'all got to start listening, man. Brothers are out here doing this work, man. Brothers are preaching, brothers are teaching, brothers are prophesying, man. But Jake is not listening. Now we're seeing everything come to pass. We're seeing everything that brothers have been saying come to pass, man. Brothers are examining the word, and the spirit is been poured out from Yahweh onto brothers to do his work, man. And now everything the brothers have been saying via the scriptures are starting to come to pass. So it's time for Jake to wake up. It's time for Jake to stop playing around. Because if you playing around and you stop and you bullshitting around right now, you're gonna end up, taking that jab, man. You're gonna end up capitulating. You'll end up caving in, because that devil's coming down quickly, man. All kinds of industries are saying, you know what, fuck it, man. All y'all got to get jabbed up by Friday at 5 p.m. If you're not, you're gonna get fired. And that quick moment, it's not that quick decision. Ain't no easy decision to make if you're not rooted in the foundation of the scriptures, man. Like it says, and they come to see thee as the people come, and they sit before thee as many people, and they hear thy words, but they will not do them. So people are hearing the words, man. Jake is listening. Jake is, Jake that not really take this truth seriously, but understands and knows that they are an Israelite, or have maybe heard about the truth, but still want to be in the Christian church. Just not taking, just kind of bullshitting around with the times, not want to talking about, Jake talking about 50 years down the road and, not in my lifetime. And those Jakes right there, man. You're not taking heed to the prophecies, man. You're not hiding yourself in the word, because you're not recognizing the days ahead are very evil, man. So you're not really doing the will of the Lord by hiding yourself by occupying yourself in prophecy, by recognizing the times, by watching and praying, by redeeming the days, So because that's the case, you recognize the pleasant voice, you recognize the song, which being that song of Moses and song of the Lamb, we'll get that. But you recognize that, but you don't take heed to the message, But when all these things come to pass, you'll know that message was true. you'll know that message has some weight to it. People are saying, oh, well, these things are kind of starting to come to pass. I'm seeing celebrities wake up and talk about the truth. There must be some truth to it. You think there's truth to it? We've been trying to tell y'all this, man. You know, we were trying to tell y'all that it's not going to be a situation where you can get a religious exemption. It's not going to be a situation where you can mingle your way out the jab with your company, where you can have some kind of medical disorder or some shit where you can't take the jab. No, man, they're not satisfied. Like the scriptures say. Let's get that in Sirach, the 12th chapter. This is Sirach chapter 12 and verse 16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. Meaning what? He won't be satisfied with just an outcome here and there, man. He wants it all, man. He wants your mind, body, and your soul, man. You know, he's not satisfied with just little things here and there. He wants everything, man. He's not satisfied with getting some of the population jabbed up, and then some of y'all still working. You know, some of the population jabbed up, and then some people still working but not jabbed up. Nah, man. Everybody that participates in his society got to get jabbed up, man. It is what it is. We've been trying to tell y'all there's no way out of it, man. You know, and we're starting to see that being executed in everyday society. They used to say, oh, well, you know, we will never. I mean, last year they came out and said, you know, we will never mandate it, you know, nationwide. Now they're starting the process of mandating it nationwide. Now they haven't come out and said it's mandated nationwide to the point where you got to have it to go in your Kroger's, your Publix's, you know, your Walmarts, places like that, or you need to walk or to buy or sell in a move and shake in everyday society. You need to have access to your car and your have access to money and things like that. It's not at that point yet, but it is at the point where, you know, in order to work in that particular field, you got to have a job, man. In order to involve yourself and participate in that certain career field, you know, or involve yourself with a certain company, you know, you got to submit to their whims, man. They're showing he's not satisfied with blood. He wants your mind, body, and your soul. He wants everything from you, man. He's not satisfied with just a portion. He wants the whole plate, man. So there's no way out of it, like we've been trying to tell y'all. So now we're starting to see that play out in everyday society. But I want to go to Revelation, the 15th chapter, because it says in Ezekiel 33, that song from that heart. Let's just go back to that real quick once again. Ezekiel 33 and 32. And lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song of one that hath a pleasant voice and can play well on an instrument, for they hear thy words, but they do them not. So that song's talking about that song of Moses and that song of the Lamb, man, which brothers are, you know, are singing right now, proverbially. So this is Revelation, the 15th chapter, and I'm gonna go to the second verse, and I'm gonna start the first verse. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of Yahweh. And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that have gotten the victory over the beast, which is the elect, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of Yahweh. So do we have physical harps? No, man, we don't have any physical harps, but the harp is a tool, is an instrument that plays a very lovely song. You can use the harp to play a very lovely sounding, you know, it has a very lovely soothing, you know, sound to it. It draws people, the harp sound draws a lot of people in, as does the song of Moses, as does, you know, this word, the song of the Moses and of the Lamb, this truth. Verse 3, and they sing the song of Moses, the servants of Yahweh, and the song of the Lamb, who is Yahweh Shai, saying, great and marvelous are thy works, Lord Yahweh Almighty, just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints. So that's starting with the 144,000, man, on down, you know. So that's that song, you know, that brothers are singing right now. So that's and it's starting, and it's headlined by prophecy. Let's go to Revelation, the 19th chapter. This is Revelation chapter 19 and verse 9. And he saith unto me, right, blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. And he said unto me, these are the true sayings of God. So the marriage supper is that's talking about being bid to that marriage, man. And ultimately, they which are called to the marriage supper are the bridegroom of the Lamb, aka the elect, starting with the 144,000. But what do the 144,000 have, man? This is verse 10. And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see, thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Worship the Most High. For the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. So the 144, those who are bidden to the marriage, those who are partaking in the marriage supper of the Lamb, aka Yahweh Shai, those who are the bridegroom to the Lamb have what? The spirit of prophecy, man, to be able to see what's going to happen before it happens. The word prophecy or prophet in general goes to a seer, someone who can see things before they come. But Israel don't want true prophets, man. Israel wants false prophets. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, the 30th chapter. It's Isaiah chapter 30 and I'm gonna go to verse 7. Actually, verse 7. For the Egyptians shall help in vain and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this. Their strength is to sit still. So the Egyptians are helping in vain. And who are the modern day Egyptians, man? The modern day Egyptians are the Babylonian Edomites, man. Starting with the top banking families on down. The Jesuits. That's starting with them. But it trickles down to your everyday average Edomite as well. And also your faces of Edom being your politicians, your presidents, your Congress members, people, your faces like Bill Gates and Bezos and Elon Musk and people like that. Your faces of these high-ranking companies, they're the faces, but we know who really runs the shit behind the scenes. But they're the faces of it, man. Those are the Egyptians, man. For the Egyptians shall help in vain and to no purpose. So they're helping in vain to no purpose, man. So you see right here, they're giving you the jab, man. They're telling you that you got to get the jab by a certain date, or you can't work for our company no more. You can't involve yourself in our enterprise anymore, man. Basically, if you don't submit your mind, body, and soul fully to Esau Edom, you will no longer be able to participate in his society. We've been telling y'all this was coming, man. But Jake don't want to listen. Jake want to lollygag in the world, want to bullshit around the world, want to not take heed to the words of the Most High via his men. Let's go to Ezekiel 34th chapter real quick. This is Ezekiel chapter 34 and verse 30. Thus shall they know that I, the Lord, their power am with them, and that they, even the house of Israel, are my people, saith the Lord Yahweh. And ye my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men, and I am your God, saith the Lord God. So the Most High's men come in his spirit, and we preach the message to the nation. So you got to be listening to the Most High's men, because this is where you get the understanding of the words of the Lord. A lot of people just read the Bible for themselves. They don't know what the fuck it's saying, man, at all. Case in point, the Christian church or the Christian religion and period, man. You got a lot of brothers involved in the Christian church who have no clue what the Bible is saying at all, because it wasn't given to them to know the mysteries, man. The mysteries are given to the men of the Lord. And the men of the Lord have been telling y'all that this is coming. The storm is coming in full swing, and you're not going to have a way to get out of it, man. That the Egyptians help in no vain. They help in vain, man. That they have no purpose to helping you. That they're just trying to get that the jab is a tool to accelerate the beast system. That's all it is, man. We've been telling y'all this, but Jake don't want to listen. This is verse 8 of Ezekiel of Isaiah the 30th chapter. Now go, write it before them in a table and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever. That this is a rebellious people, lying children that would not hear the law of the Lord, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. Get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. So Jake don't want to hear, the words of the Lord via his men. Jake want to take heed to the Christian church Jake want to be in Islam. Jake want to be in the Kemet shit. Jake want to be in the world, man. You know, Jake want to listen to Boule puppets. Jake want to listen to Egyptians that are helping in vain. Which the Boule puppets are them as well, because they come in that same spirit. Even though the Egyptians primarily is talking about the Edomites, you know, the Babylonian Edomites from the high-ranking Jesuits on down. But the Boule Jakes, they come in that same spirit. They do the bidding of Esau Edom, man. So Jake want to listen to them instead of the words of the Lord via his men. But like it says, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy to seeds. It was no different then, and it's no different now. You know, that's just what it is, man. Been telling y'all this was coming, and now we're seeing real life examples. So Lord will, this wakes a lot of Jake up, because now we're seeing this can affect your company, man. Your company that you, this could be your job, your employer, man, could be coming out with the job mandate very, very soon. There's going to be a variety of reasons as to why. We'll get into this and we'll get into in this article. I mean, in this live stream, going over these articles. But you know, it's real. This is happening in real life right here, man. It's not no fairy tale play game shit. You know, it's time to make a choice, Jake. Where do you stand on the spectrum? But before I go back into the precepts, let's get this precept right here from the brother Mr. Sanjan. Mr. Sanjan 144 said, Psalm 118, 8-9. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in mankind. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in princes. Man. It's way better to trust in the words of the Lord than to put any confidence in man. Man can always be a liar and can deceive. Let's get Romans the 3rd chapter to add on to that beautiful precept that the brother brought out. Let's get Romans chapter 3 and verse 4. This is the book of Romans chapter 3 and verse 4. Actually, I'm going to start at verse 3. For what if some did not believe, shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? The Most High forbid. Yea, let the Most High be true, but every man a liar. As it is written, thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. So, you know, it says, let the Most High be true, but every man a liar. So every man has the ability to lie to you. Every man has the ability to deceive you, which is why it says in 1 John, the 4th chapter, in the 1st verse, you got to try the spirit. And then we know the spirit these Edomites are coming in is wicked as fuck, man. Let's go to Psalm I believe it's the 58th chapter. Let's go to Psalm 58. This is Psalm chapter 58 and verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they are born, speaking lies. So the wicked, they speak lies, man. All they do is lie, deceive, kill, manipulate, gradually manipulate, draw you into their poison through various means of deception. That's all they do, man. So the spirit they coming in is pure wickedness, So they're coming in that lying spirit. But you know who else does? Everybody else that sups with them, man. Everyone who justifies the wicked, as it says in Proverbs the 17th chapter, he that justifies the wicked is an abomination. If you are one with the beast, you're also a liar as well. You're also a beast as well. You're no different because the beasts are reference to these other nations. The top beast is Esau Edom. So if you are one with Esau Edom via taking his poison, man, you know different from him, man. You're an enemy. At the end of the day, that's why it's way better to put trust in the Lord, because someone of your own nation can come to deceive you. Because someone of your own nation, you got a lot of false prophets out here, man. You got a lot of false prophets out here. Even in Israel, especially in Israel, high-ranking leaders or so-called leaders, leading people to error, man. Let's get Isaiah the 9th chapter, the 6th verse. I mean, not Isaiah 9 and 6. It's in Isaiah 9, but that's a different precept. Isaiah the 9th chapter, the 16th verse. Salak, the 16th verse. And shalom to my brother D Ben. The brother came through. Shalom to the brother D Ben. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shabbat, brother. The water for coming through and checking out the lesson. But this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 9 and verse 16. For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. So the leaders are those false prophets, man, those false teachers, those accusers, man, who had that same accusing spirit of Esau, Edom, you know, and they're the ones who are on the forefront of promoting the jab to you so that you can be destroyed. They're the ones on the forefront of distracting your mindset so you're not occupied on the words of the Heavenly Father. They're the ones acting as adversaries to the men of the Lord. When the men of the Lord are telling you one thing, but they're telling you another thing, you'd rather listen to them. Going back Isaiah, the 30th chapter and the 8th verse. Smooth things and prophesy deceits. You know? That's what Jake want. You know? So it's going back to what Mr. Sanjan said, it's way better to put your trust in the Lord, in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. But let's go into the articles and we'll continue on. Actually, before I do that, I want to go to Revelation the 14th chapter real quick. To add on to that point I was hitting on Revelation the 15th chapter, where it talks about the Song of Moses and the Song of the Lamb. It's Revelation 14 because it says in there that that these that sing the Song of Moses, the servant of the Most High, and the Song of the Lamb. But it started with that 144,000. And the 144,000, you know, are going to be those brothers that are really singing that song, that are warning our nation and have the spirit of prophecy, as it says, which is the testimony of Yahweh Shah, as it says in Revelation 19 and 10. It's Revelation 14 and 1. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung, as it were, a new song before the throne, before the four beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song, but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. These are they which were not defiled with women, which go, defiled with other philosophies. That's ultimately what that means. These are they which weren't defiled with other gods, which were focused on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. For they are virgins. These are they which going to virgins, they're going to pure. They were pure vessels spiritually. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These are, which means they had the song of Moses, aka the law, and the song of the Lamb, the faith of the Lamb. Pursuing to Revelation 15 and 3. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High and to the Lamb. And in the mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of the Most High. So I want to get that right there because, as I've been saying in this live stream, we've been telling y'all this was coming. Now, I'm not saying that the 144,000 never say anything wrong. I'm definitely not saying that. But what I'm saying is that the Most High has gifted the ability to brothers to have the spirit to preach his word in truth and sincerity. Show the prophecies to our people so they can have a proper understanding of what is to come down the line. But you, as Jake, you gotta listen, man. You gotta take heed to it because you read the scriptures for yourself. Without a proper understanding of what actually is being said, you're gonna go all the way wrong. Like I said earlier, case in point, the Christian church. The Most High has to open your eyes to what the scriptures actually say, and one of the tools he'll use is the brothers, Lord will, who are going to be 144,000. Ultimately, the 144,000 brothers, Lord will, we are part of that number, but the 144,000 brothers to teach you the right song, to show you the right song. And at the forefront of that is prophecy, because we're in the time period where prophecy is being played out like clockwork, man. It's one thing after the next, So it's time to take heed because these mandates are becoming more and more and more potent in everyday society, man. They just It's this company, then it's this company, then it's this company. It's just spreading like wildfire, man. You know, so let's go into the articles. First one I wanted to get, this says last year's heroes, this year's scapegoats, frontline workers' livelihoods at stake over jab. Actually, you know what? I want to get this one first right here. With that one. This one right here. It says C19 update NYC. Mayor de Blasio sets Friday jab deadline for city school staff. So you got to have a jab by Friday if you a member of a New York City school staff, man. You're a teacher, you're a principal, you're a sanitation worker, you know, you a lunch lady, whatever the fuck you do in the school system, you got to have a jab, man. It says a judge panel will have dissolved a temporary hold that was placed on New York City's CVV mandate for public school employees. A 3-judge panel from the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals dissolved the temporary injunction Monday, clearing the way for the city to implement its jab mandate for public school employees. Basically, they overruled that shit, man. Basically, people were coming up talking about, religious appeal and, medical appeal. And what they just said, man, they said, fuck all that shit, man. Let's go to Psalm the 64th chapter. It's a Psalm chapter 64, and I'm gonna go to verse 5. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of lying stairs privately. They say, who shall see them? So they have these private, meetups, man. These court junctions, and that's just, of course, on the surface, and these meetings and whatnot, where they decide, what's going to happen and whatnot. Of course, we already know it was already going to go in that direction anyway. But I'm just using that for an example. They have these certain meetings and these appeal meetings and whatnot, where they give you the impression that they're gonna overrule it. And if they do it, if they do overrule such, it's not actually for your benefit. It's just for a purpose down the line of controlling the opposition side as well. You know what I'm saying? Bringing together of opposites. That's all it's for. So you see, I think in Alabama they had a hearing where a hospital actually overruled the jab mandates in Alabama. Now they're going to use a lot of these southern states and these middle America states and whatnot, to get the conservative population riled up against the liberal population. Basically, have the people for the jab against the people that's against the jab, which is going to sow a whole bunch of commotion in the minds of the people, which is going to manifest itself physically in a form of violence and ultimately civil war as well. But like the scriptures say, when an enemy helps you, it's basically to no avail. It's not actually because he wants to assist you. It's all for an agenda down the line. But it says, they say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They compass a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. So, also I'm going to go to verse 4. That may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly they do shoot at them and fear not. They fear not, man. Meaning what? They got complete control over what's going on. The Most High is giving them control over the society, and they do whatever the fuck they want to do, man. They don't have a guard for men. They don't have, especially Jake, who is the poor. They don't have a guard for Jake. They don't have a guard for people that live and work in these inner cities, which is mostly Jake. They have people who live on the coast, you know what I'm saying, the country, which is a lot of Jake. They don't have a guard for that at all, man. They just do whatever the fuck they want to do, and they give you the impression that they're here to help you, but then they go to the draconian. They make the draconian measure decision to have the jab implemented. That's pretty much what they're doing right now. So in New York, it says Mayor Bill de Blasio says that public school staff must be jabbed by Friday at 5 p.m. That devil coming down with that great wrath. Let's go to Revelation, the 12th chapter. It's Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth he hath but a short time. It's that great wrath, man, coming down quickly. You know, it came out months ago, or like a few weeks ago. I mean, I don't know why Jake is not listening. It came a few weeks ago. It came out saying, you know, a major article, major news made, you know, headwaves. If you got over 100 employees, I think it was 100 or 1,000 employees, you got to have the jab. You got all your employees got to take the jab. You know, that came out. So this shouldn't be a surprise at all. You know, but that's that quick wrath though. They got a deadline, man. Friday at 5 p.m. You don't got about Friday at 5 p.m. You out of there, man. No exemption, no religious exemption, no medical exemption, no psychological exemption, none of that, man. You out of there. All for the sake of quote unquote public safety and quote unquote public, you know, safety responsibility and quote unquote looking out for people, which we know the enemy never looks out for anyone but himself, man. Let's go to Psalm the 55th chapter. This is Psalm 55 and verse 20. He hath put forth his hands against such, be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but his war was in his heart. So his mouth is smoother than the words are smoother than, but they sound good, man. Oh, we're looking out for people. We want our work environment to be a safe work environment. We don't want no one to get. We want to look after the kids. They throw the kids in there. We want to look after the kids, man. You know, very smooth words. Make it sound good to you, man. Oh, we care about the children, the young children. We don't want the young children to get infected. Too many young lives are getting killed, man. They tell you this, man. You know, but really that war is in their heart, because ultimately, man, they just using the jab as a tool to accelerate the New World Order. You know what I'm saying? To accelerate the beast system implementation in the everyday society, and it be overt implementation as well, being what? Overt worship of the beast, overt worship of the goat, you know, and all the philosophies of the goat, that being ABCD, you know, if you can pick one, put it down, ABCD, veneration, worship, and acceptance openly. You know what I'm saying? The woman against the man, as Chronicles Judah be going into his videos. The heterosexual, the homosexual over the heterosexual, the woman over the man, the child over the parent. That's the tenets, 3 of the tenets of the goat. And they want that outrightly, and they want you to worship the goat as well. You know, which if you worship those philosophies, you adhere to those philosophies by proxy, you do worship the goat. Because that's not the Yahweh Bashim Yahushua at all. You're not serving the God of the Bible at all. You know, let's go to 2 Corinthians, the 6th chapter, I believe, or maybe the 4th chapter. It is 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter, and the 3rd verse. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not. The God of this world being what? Pan, the Baphomet, the New World Order God, the God that this society is trying to implement into everyday society. And the jab is just a tool to get that accelerated, man. The jab is it's not even a damn V, man. You know, it's a mRNA basically like switch. You know what I'm saying? It's like I've heard this from a variety of different sources before. And I was watching a video that came out this morning that my aunt Ash sent in our group chat that was talking about basically the jab and whatnot. Now I've seen clips and articles on this before. I never really delved deep into it and whatnot, but of course we all knew that it wasn't really because I don't really do the whole jab thing anyway, so I don't believe any of these jabs are good for you. No jab whatsoever. But this video was stressing on the point that's not even a real traditional jab, as you know, it'll be in the everyday sense that actually you know, targets certain parts of your body and kills them and what's not. The third, this jab actually targets the things that help your body fight off disease. You know what I'm saying? And kills that. You know. And basically, it's just a bunch of DNA alteration. It's a mRNA switch or whatnot. I forgot the exact word the person used, but you know, it's a mRNA alteration. You know, or you know, kind of like something along the lines of that. It's not even a real jab. So just going to show it's not. I say that to say It's not being used for the purpose of protection. It's being used for the purpose of a means to an end, being what? Population control, the New World Order being implemented, submitting your mind to the beast over time through various actions, which conditions your mind to think that they have your best interests at heart. It conditions your mind to look for them for stability and look to them for saving, to the point where now when something happens, your first thought is to see what CNN says about it. Your first thought is to see what Wilt Blixer, or whatever the fuck that nigga's name is, says about it. Van Jones or Biden, or what's that gay? Oh fuck that homosexual Anderson Cooper, whatever the fuck his name is. Those people, man. You look for for them to get for your guidance. You don't even look to the Lord, man. That's why it says, in whom the God of this world has blinded. So it's blinded you through various means of deception, man. That's why they speak of those lies, man. It's all about deceiving. Let's go to Revelation, the 20th chapter. Actually, let's finish this first. Lest the blinded them, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them. So you got to have that light from Yahweh Shai to help you guide you make your decisions, man. Or else you're going to fall into that ditch of darkness, man. You're going to fall into that ditch of deception, And the light that stems from Yahweh Shai ultimately at its highest level is the spirit of prophecy. That's why the Apostle Paul said, although I have the spirit of prophecy, I am nothing. Meaning what? Highlighting and showing that the spirit of prophecy is one of the highest gifts that you can get. Because that will give you the understanding to know what's to come, how to hide yourself from it, and how to get the necessary wisdom to be able to be stable during that time where that prophecy is playing out in everyday life. So those things are extremely important right there. But let's go to actually I'm not gonna go to Revelation 20. Let's continue on. It says a Department of Education spokesperson says the city now has the right to move forward with the school jab mandate. So, it's not even going to be teachers, man. Now they talk about, kids getting the jab as well. They came out and said a few days ago, Fauci came out and said something like people as young as like 10 or 12 are eligible to like kind of, it's basically it's safe for them to get the jab. They're going after the kids now. So don't be surprised in some of these major cities, your New Yorks, your LAs and whatnot, where they start having it where kids got to get it to even go to elementary school, man, to go to middle school and high school and shit. They already got it at college. At a wide variety of colleges, you got to have to step foot on campus, or you got to do everything else online. But don't be. It's gonna come soon where, it's starting out with the staff, but then it's gonna go. They're gonna have some kind of event where, such and such elementary school in Miami has an outbreak of C-19. Now that's gonna spark a lot of people to believe and feel justified when they mandate the jab being given to kids, man. They can feel justified that, I want my child to be safe. You know what? It's okay. We haven't gotten it yet, but now they got an FDA kids approved jab or some shit. Okay, I want my child to be safe. Let's go get it. And ultimately, they're not even gonna be a decision. Gonna be you got to get it to go to school here. So that all that is coming, man. It says jabs are our strongest tool in the fight against C-19. This ruling is on the right side of the law and will protect our students and staff. The mandate will go into effect on Friday, end of the day. By October 4th, 100% of educators and staff in our buildings will be jabbed up. And if you don't want to get that, you got to fucking go, man. And let's get this right here. Because it says right here, it says, this ruling is the right side of the law and will protect our students and staff. The right side of the law, quote unquote, is the popular opinion of the law that's being disseminated from the high-ranking Jesuits on down, because they mind control, mind fuck most people. So the quote unquote right side, it's like the term quote unquote my truth. The quote unquote right side of the law, all that shit is whatever the high-ranking Jesuits stipulate to the masses of people and get them to believe. That's pretty much all that is. And the things that they have stipulated is that the jab is here for your protection. So the masses of people believe that, man. Now you do got a lot of people that's calling bullshit on that. Your conservatives, your Southerners, but on the coast what most people reside in society, what a mass population of people is on the coast of the country, they all for it, man. All the liberals, they all for it, man. You know? And unfortunately, a lot of that is Jake. All for it, man. Jake is taking this thing left and right, man. It's really Esau who don't want to take the shit. Jake is just following the line with the shit, man. You know? But like I said, the quote unquote right side of the law is basically all that what they say it is, the high-ranking judgments on down, the Zionists on down, what they say it is, stipulate to their puppets, and then they puppets disseminate to the masses, and the masses believe it because of the deception that they use to get you to believe it. All the staged events and all the crisis actors and all the false numbers and whatnot. They use to get you to fall in love with that belief and make yourself one with that certain philosophy. You know, that's that devil coming down with that great wrath. You know, and that's why it's so important to take heed to the words of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? By way of his teachers, by way of his men, and also by doing your own reading as well. You got to have both, man. Because sometimes you may read something, but you need a breakdown of it that the Most High just not revealing that to you in the spirit. He just wants you to take heed of what a brother says and take what he says, go through, okay, he said this, and you going through the scripture, okay, this says this, and this says this. Okay, I see what the brother is saying. Pray on it, meditate, and let it move in your spirit. But also reading yourself as well, so that you can get the understanding. You don't just be a blind follower, but you do follow, so if you need some understanding, so that's pretty much how that goes, man. Like the scriptures say, I'm gonna go to we go to the book. The scripture I started out this lesson with, or one of the scriptures I started out this lesson with, Ezekiel 33 and 30. And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. Then shall they have known that a prophet hath been among them. So we seeing it right now. And when that time comes, man, they're gonna know, damn, that brother was really, prophesying the right spirit. Damn, that brother was really doing the work. Damn, I should have listened. So that's what it is. But let's go into and that's the importance of following and taking heed to such words, because it's the words of the Lord versus the words of the devil, man. There's no in between. There's no I'm gonna go with this day I'm gonna go with this. No. You gotta pick a side. Do you go with the words of the Lord, or you go with the words and the wiles of the devil? And the words of the Lord are warning, are warning words. Are warning words. Are words telling you, don't go in this direction. Be mindful and watch unto this. Redeem this time properly. That's the words of the Lord that the brothers are spewing, the brothers are saying, man. That the brothers are singing that song. But the words of the devil are telling you, go in this direction. Do this. This is here for your safety. The words of the Lord are being filtered, or what the scriptures say. The words of the devil are just philosophies of the world, rudiments of the world. Let's go to Colossians, the 3rd chapter. So this is Colossians, the 1st chapter. Colossians 1 and verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men and the rudiments of the world, and not after Hamashiach. So we read earlier in Revelation 15 how basically the saints, starting with the 144,000, have the song of Moses and of the Lamb. So those are going to be the brothers, that the Most High is revealing his spirit to, but then you have, and that's the right hand path. Ultimately starting first and foremost with Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shah and his words via the scriptures. And then you have the left hand being the rudiments of men, the tradition of men, the rudiments of the world, the vain philosophies of man. And who is the man that runs this world? It's Esau, Edom. So ultimately that's the philosophies of Esau, which you read in Psalm 58 and 64, how Esau is a liar from birth, man. So if you don't follow after the words of the Lord, you follow after lies, man. and lives are going to get destroyed. So you ultimately will get destroyed. That's how it's playing out in everyday life. So that's why it's so important to take heed to the words of the Lord, man. One is for life and one is for death. In terms of the Lord being life, and the deceiver and the physical manifestation being Esau Edom, working that black magic on the earth, spell casting through his puppets, that's death. Like he says, rudiments of the world, tradition of men, and not after Christ. So very important to take heed to in these last days. But let's go into this right here. Salak, get some water. And the water brother, David, D-Ben, the water D-Ben, he said it's gene therapy. That's the word I was looking for. The water for that, and bringing that out. Look at some of these comments. Yada Nico, Shalom, brother. Yahweh Shemal Shabbat, brother. The water for coming through. He said, Khan, I want them to bring them MCs already. Khan, man. Because we all know that's what it's leading up to. Just bring it out, man. Let's get this thing out the way. Let's get our kingdom going, man. Let's start establishing righteousness. Ezekiel 39. Let's go. Get all that filth cleaned out. Let's get our kingdom established. Let's bring them MCs already, man. Let's get it going. Yeah, but gotta use the code words, brother. They on my shit, man. Gotta use these code words. Mr. Sean John said, Psalm 58 and 15, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they are born, speaking lies. Khan. Yada Nico said Matthew 24 and 22, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Khan. We seen that play out in everyday life too, man. These days are being shortened, man. It's already it's about to be October soon, man. This year just flying by, man. And the Most High's got to shorten them for the elect's sake. Mr. Sandra 144 said, 2 Ezra 6 and 9, for Esau's end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. Khan. Absolutely. And that lets you know we're at the end right there, man. If anyone talking about Esau being the Arab, man, and Esau being Japheth and all that shit, I don't know. You got a whole bunch of different doctrines, man. Esau is the so-called white man. It don't get no clearer than that in the times we're living in right now. Esau is the white man. I know you got a lot of love for white daddy. I know you can't rid that love. I know you got to suck on his nipples all day. Now, I know you do. I know you pro-black. He's got to do that shit, man. I know you can't help but stop sucking the milk out of white daddy titty. I know you can't, man. But Esau is the white man. He is going to get destroyed, and he's leading you astray if you follow him, man. I know it's tough for you to grasp, but he is the wicked of the earth, man. And he's deceiving you with this jab. That's the water for bringing that scripture out, brother. All right, let's go into this article right here. It says New York hospitals fire, suspend staff who refuse C jab. It says New York hospitals on Monday began firing or suspending healthcare workers for defying a state order to get C-19 jabs, and resulting staff shortages prompted some hospitals to postpone elective surgeries and curtail services. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio told a news conference the city's hospitals were not yet seeing a major impact from the mandate, adding he worried about other areas of state where jab rates are lower. A spokeswoman for Catholic Health one of the largest healthcare providers in Western New York, said they have reached full compliance, counting staff members who have been jabbed, those with exemptions, and some who have been suspended without pay. So basically, man, I'm gonna go down to another point of the article I wanted to hit real quick before I have some commentary on it. This is what I wanted to hit right here. On Saturday, New York Governor Kathy Hochul says she was considering employing the National Guard and out of state medical workers to fill staffing shortages, with 16% of the state's 450,000 hospital staff not fully jabbed. Now, I'm going to touch on this in another video because I want to just get through the rest of these articles, but that's a big deal. That's a big deal when it says in considering employing the National Guard and out-of-state medical workers. When you see National Guard, man, that's a big fucking deal. You know, that means we're on the brink. Well, one of the things that means is we're on the brink of martial law, man. Basically, 2020 was a year where they used that year for a variety of different reasons. But one of the things they used 2020 for was to show that any given time they can use outright force to get what they want to get done. At any given time, they can employ the National Guard, certain sectors of the military and whatnot to accomplish a task that they had at hand. So when you see National Guard starting to be employed at certain places like that, that lets you know that they are on the cusp of using the National Guard for a variety of different things in society. And one of the main things it's going to be used for is when the jab becomes more and more mandated in everyday society and people start getting up in arms. That's when you're going to see a martial law type situation spew up out of that, man. Because it's going to cause a lot of upheaval, especially when it reaches the South, when it reaches Middle America, and places like that where with a very heavy conservative population who are not with that shit at all. You're gonna see you're gonna feel, and also in certain pots in these liberal states as well, where there's just a mass amount of people, and of course you're gonna have people that's not with it when you have such a big amount of people in a set environment. But them bringing in that National Guard thing, man, that's just showing that at any given time, for whatever certain event or whatnot, whether it be real or staged, more than likely staged, you know, they're going to use the National Guard to implement outright force and other sectors of the military to implement outright force so that, you know, martial law for means of cooperation can be established. That's the point right there. They want to establish martial law as a means for cooperation, you know, showing and telling you they can do anything they want to do at any given moment because they can, because they have the power to do so. Submit to me, or I submit to me and my power, or such and such will come of you. Such and such will come of your environment, your city, your state, whatever, through the form of martial law, and the National Guard be on the forefront in implementing such in the physical. You know, so that's what I just wanted to hit that point right there as well. That's just one of the points that like I said, I'm gonna do a video on that another time, a separate one on that. And out-of-state medical workers to fill staffing shortages, with 16% of states' 450,000 hospital staff not fully inoculated. So yeah, man. You know, basically in New York, you know, if you ain't got the jab, hey, man, you out of there, man. It is what it is. It says healthcare workers who are fired for refusing to get the jab will not be eligible for unemployment insurance unless they are able to provide a valid doctor's approved request for medical accommodation, Hochul's office says. So not only are you gonna get fired from your job, but you also not even eligible for unemployment, man. Showing you the wickedness of this devil, man. Showing you basically removing all options from you if you choose not to submit to his way. If you choose not to submit to his way of thinking, you don't have no other option for it, man. You gotta find something completely find something else to do. Because if you can just get unemployment, people will just not take the jab, man. If you can just get unemployment, say you work in a hospital and you could just file for unemployment insurance, you know, why would you? And you can get 75% of your earnings. Why would you get the jab if you are hard against it? Why would you get the jab? You've reduced some things in your life, and you good. Why would you get the jab? So of course they're not going to have it where you can apply for unemployment insurance, because that would defeat the purpose of getting people to take the jab or force people to take it. People who are against it would just not do it. That's going to show the wickedness of this devil, man. It's all out 100% submit to me, or you face major consequences. This is Revelation, the 13th chapter. And in verse 15. And he had power to give life to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Just going to show right there that if you don't bow down to the image of the beast, man, there are going to be consequences associated with such, man. You're not going to be able to move and shake and have another option and whatnot. You don't bow down to the beast, man. They're showing you that right here. That there's no other option. You get with me, or you figure it out on your own. That's pretty much what they're saying. That's ultimately going to be at its apex. It's going to be death. You know, people are going to die. You know, the elect brothers who are going to die in the name of Yahweh Shah. You know, who have to get in that guillotine and whatnot. But also people who just die of plagues, man, die of famine and starvation, because they just not with it. But they may be of another nation. You know, of course they can't be of the elect. Maybe of another nation. They just don't want to get down with it. You know, maybe they Elamite or Edom or whatnot, you know, or Hamite Christian, or Moabite Christian, whatever it may be, and they ain't down with this. Hey, man, eventually they're gonna die off. It is what it is, because you either submit to the system, to the beast, or you go without, or you figure it out on your own. And ultimately, if you're not an Israelite, you don't have your Yahweh Bashim Shah working on your side as well, so you're just gonna die off, man. You're gonna get killed. Whether that be through the form of martial law via UN soldiers coming in, started with the National Guard, but also UN soldiers and cyborg robot soldiers coming in, just spraying people up, or whether that be you die from natural causes of famine because you don't have money to buy food, you run out of food, and you say, you know what, well, this is our last day of food, we're gonna all die in peace, you know, that's not a peaceful death at all. Eating your flesh eating itself out of starvation, that's very, very painful. But you just die off and say, you know what, we're just gonna die. Like the in the book of First Kings with the widow and Elijah. You know, she said, I'm just gonna take this food back to me and my son. We're gonna eat it and we're gonna die off. It's gonna be like that for a lot of people out here, man. They're just gonna have a little bit left. They got their preparation, they got their shit stocked up and all that, man. And then when the time comes, you know, when the time comes where it's time, you know, will they run out of food? Hey, they're just gonna die off, man. It is what it is, because they're of another nation. Most are not dealing with them, and even two-thirds of Jake, man, who just wicked as hell, who don't want to submit to the right order. That means the Most High, then His Son, then the man, then the woman, who don't want to submit to that right order and that right doctrine, don't have the right name, it's on the third. They're gonna die off too, man. They thinking that their weapons gonna save them and whatnot. They're gonna run out of ammo and food and whatnot, and say, you know what, this is all I got left. I'm gonna eat this and die. You know, so that at its apex, it is gonna turn into death. But right now, you know what it says in Revelation 13 and 15, and cause as many as will not worship the image of the beast. Which, when you get the jab, that's what you're doing. You know, you're going along with that structure. Now disclaimer, you have not taken the mark of the beast. You take the jab, you have not taken the mark of the beast. I just want to get that out there. But you are going along in that system. You're going along in the system of the worship of the image of the beast. You know, you're taking the precursor to the mark. You know, so you're heading in that direction. But if you don't take that, you don't head in that direction, you're going to be ostracized from society, which is eventually going to lead to your death if the Most High is not dealing with you. So that's what it comes down to, man. So they're trying to remove all access to other things if you don't completely submit to our way of doing things, which their way of doing things is getting the jab. So you're seeing that ramp up as well. Now I want to go to this one right here. It says last year's heroes, this year's scapegoats, frontline workers' livelihoods at stake over jab mandates. It says they were last year's heroes. This year they're fighting for their livelihoods, going to show the deception, the lies if Esau, Edom just fatten you up, man. They fatten y'all frontline workers, y'all nurses, y'all doctors, and all this, that, and the third. Now, I'm not saying, that y'all didn't do a good, didn't do good work. I'm not trying to disrespect people in that field. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to do that at all. I got people in my family that are in the medical field. Now, unfortunately, they're taking the jab as well, unfortunately. But, it is what it is. I'm not trying to, poo-poo that, people who work in those certain fields and whatnot. But at the end of the day, if you thought that was some kind of like, holier than thou, righteous type work you were doing, you were being used as a tool and as a pawn. Because now they basically saying, I know that you did this for us last year, but right now I need you to do what I tell you to do. And if you don't want to do that, I'm gonna spew you out my mouth. Like Yahweh Shah said, if you're not hot or cold, he's gonna spew you out his mouth. Esau Edom is saying, you're not hot or cold for me. I'm gonna spew you. You can't be lukewarm with me. I'm gonna spew you out my mouth, man. Maybe I'm gonna get rid of it. You ain't gonna have no job no more, no way of making money. And a lot of people, man, they are one with their job. Their whole livelihood is validated around their title or their career. So they can't even imagine a life without that being associated with them. So they're just gonna go take the job, man. But you got some people out there that's standing strong and they're doing it, and that's less losing their jobs for it. They're gonna few in number, but you got some people out there that's doing it. It says essential workers were heralded last year as heroes as they continue in-person work while their CV spread across the nation. Now those same workers are facing terminations and resignations due to job mandates implemented by the government and private organizations. We worked hard, Indiana nurse Sheila Burleson told Fox News, referring to healthcare workers who continue caring for patients during the pandemic. I came home and cried, fell to my knees and cried. I came to my knees and cried. I had 5 people die in one day. But you know what, baby girl? Esau Edom don't give a fuck about that, man. They don't give a fuck about that shit. They want people to die, man. They happy when people die. When you got 5 people die, that's a win. That's a win for them. And the Georgia Guidestones, man, we all know the first tenet of the Georgia Guidestones is to get the population under 500 million. More people that die, that's the best. They view that as less people I got to force into submission. Less people I got to force into control, man. Less people I have to worry about controlling. That's how they view death, man. They don't view death as the average person views death, a sad, sorrowful, sombersome event. They cheer at death, man. They're excited at death. That has to be the mindset people got to take on. These people don't care or don't see the world through your lens, man. They see the lens through the mindset of a wicked power, man. That the Most High has put them in power over the people, man. That's how they view this world or the world in general. So when they see deaths, that's something that excites them, man. She said now she is out of a job after not complying with job mandate at Eskenazi Health in Indianapolis, and she is no longer even proud to wear the frontline hero that were popular last year. You shouldn't have been wearing them shits anyway. I mean, you probably a heathen anyway, so who gives a fuck? But you shouldn't have been wearing them shits anyway. You were just a pawn. You were just a tool that Esau Edom was using to perpetuate, his fear mongering programming for the jab. I mean, to prep people for the fear mongering programming to prep people to take the jab. That's all you were being used for. These frontline workers and whatnot. I'm not saying that people weren't dying. I'm not saying that they weren't putting a lot of work. I'm not saying that they were not up hours and some people died. Most people die in a day. I'm not saying that. But all I'm saying is that at the end of the day, if you aligned your spirit with that, you were being used as a pawn. It is what it is. If you thought that you had some kind of brownie points with Esau, he was gonna let you off the hook and all that. He's not letting no one off the hook, man. Let's go to Revelation 18th chapter. And then we're gonna go to Daniel 7. This is Revelation 18 and verse 2. Actually, verse 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, it's become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and carried of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And all the merchants of the earth are waxed rich the abundance of her delicacies. And who are the people that do the bidding in that endeavor, man? You know what I'm saying? All these workers, man, you know, who help Babylon wax rich. And ultimately, now that is talking about commerce, you know what I'm saying? But as well, those Babylonian philosophies waxing rich upon the whole earth, man. And if you and you when you were a frontline worker, man, you know, that's what you were involving yourself in. If your spirit was aligned with it, man. That's why it says in the fourth chapter, in the fourth verse, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, that you receive not her plagues." So you don't align your spirit with this. That's not saying that you can't move and shake. That's not saying you can't be a nurse. Now, if that requires you to take the jab, then no, you shouldn't do that. But which is coming to everywhere, if not damn near everywhere, you know, right now, very soon. But you know, like, you're not supposed to put your spirit into this, because if you do, you are doing the same. You're waxing. You know, you are one with Babylon, and one with aiding the philosophies of Babylon to wax rich in the earth. You're one with it, man. You know, so you're gonna receive the same plagues, because that means what? You're probably gonna go take the jab, which means you're probably gonna go take the chip. You know, you ride along with it, man. That's why the scripture say, "Never trust thine enemy," because they always lead you astray. You know, let's go to Sirach 12 real quick again. There's a point in there that I want to get. Then we're gonna go to Sirach, I think the third chapter, or the fifth chapter. It is the 13th chapter. So Sirach 12 and verse 17. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet he shall undermine thee. Let's get that word undermine. To lessen the effectiveness, the power, or the ability of, especially gradually or insidiously. And they do it in a very gradual fashion. They gradually undermine the work of all of these frontline workers and whatnot. This is what the wicked does. This is what the enemy does. The Esau Edom, you know, they gradually do that at the behest of implementing what they want to implement into society, which is why you don't align your spirit with these devils. He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance. He will change his countenance, man. You know, he changed his face. He told you it was important. Next thing you know, if you don't do this, I don't give a fuck about you. That's how this devil rolls, man. That's why you can't line yourself up with these people. That's why you can't, you know, intertwine your spirit with these lack of with these people that have no morality at all. You know, because when the time comes when you got to do what they want you to do, they ain't gonna give a fuck about the work that you did beforehand, man. They ain't gonna care about the work you did last year, 6 months ago. This is the new standard now. If you don't submit to my standard, you can go. All that work what you did prior to that, it don't matter no more. And that's how they treating these frontline workers, man. It's unfortunate for them, you know, but hey, it is what it is, man. You know, it is what it is. For you Jake frontline workers, y'all should have been taking heed to the truth. The truth is out there, man. And that ain't an excuse no more. You Jake frontline workers, y'all should have took heed to the truth, man, when you had a chance to. Now you still got a chance to. Lord, will you don't take the jab, you know? And I'm not saying if you have the jab, you still don't have a chance. Because like I said, the jab is not the market, the MLB. You know? Like it says, he will clap his hands, whisper much, and change his countenance. You know? He'll clap your hands for you. He'll make you feel good. You know, he'll implement a structure in society. He'll implement something in the world, and then he'll be gone from you. It's like he never clapped his hands to begin with for you. That's how quick Esau Edom will change up on you, man. That's why you don't trust these devils. That's why you only put your trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, not a man. This is Sirach, the 13th chapter and the 25th verse. The heart of a man changeth his countenance, whether it be for good or evil, and a merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance. So the heart of a man changeth his countenance, man. So you'll be able to see what Esau Edom's heart really lies in what he's doing at that moment, in the constant change of his countenance, and how something that he implemented in society makes his countenance change. You know, and what his real intentions are that emanated from his spirit, which is your heart. So a lot of these frontline workers are starting to see that real wrath of Esau Edom play out in broad daylight. He's showing you that he never gave a fuck about you, man. It says fire chief suing Oregon for CV mandate says he's willing to sacrifice job. Well, I hope you mean that. A lot of people say they're willing to do something and they switch up. It says they don't understand the stuff we've gone through, or I was about to say, nor do they care, but as it says, or they don't care. That's the spirit, or they don't care. She said about hospitals who mandated that all employees get jabbed, and they like we just read in the scriptures, man. You know, they don't care, man. He'll pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. You know, he's gonna act like what you did was what meant nothing. He's going to act like all the work you put in, you know, that you didn't really do it. You know, he's going to look to uphold that. You know, you're showing that they ultimately don't care. He says we were celebrated last year, fellow Indiana nurse Audra Allen told Fox News, but a few nurses did end up leaving due to the hospital not accepting their medical issues or having a reaction or adverse effect to the first dose of C19. They don't even give a fuck if you got an adverse effect, man. You still got to get the fuck out of there, man. It's just going to show that wrath, that full devil spirit that they have, man. You know, that evil spirit that they walking in. Let's go to the book of Psalm. I want to get this real quick. Where's that preset? I think it's Psalm 54. It's a Psalm 52. So I was to Psalm 52. It's a Psalm chapter 52 and verse 2. Thy tongue devises mischief like a sharp razor, working deceitfully. Thou lovest evil more than good, and lying rather than speak righteousness. Salah. Thou lovest all devouring words, O thou deceitful tongue. So, you know, that tongue is very deceitful, man. They celebrated you. It told you that you were the heroes, you know. But now if you got one adverse effect to the jab, man, you meant nothing to me. You know, this deception through that tongue, man. You know, that's evil. They love evil more than good. It's good to reward people for what they've done that you deem well. But Esau Edom, his reward is only stipulated in you continue to work for me and you continue to do what I tell you to do. If you don't want to do that, you don't want to submit yourself to the acceleration of my New World Order enterprise, then you can go because you too much harm. You're too much harm to the agenda. That's what they're telling these frontline workers who don't want to get it, man. But this is the spirit of them via the scriptures, man. The scriptures give us all the wisdom and understanding to know who these people really are. You know, so I mean, it's unfortunate for some of them, but hey, it is what it is. Also, you got state troopers. State troopers in Massachusetts are quitting over C-19 mandate union. So the Massachusetts Police Union announced that dozens of state troopers have resigned over C-19 jab mandates for state workers. To date, dozens of troopers have already submitted their resignation paperwork, some of whom plan to return to other departments offering reasonable alternatives, such as a mask wearing or regular testing. This is going to show right here that, you know, when we was telling y'all that it's not going to stop at the mask and the it ain't gonna stop at the mask and the test. Those were only a means to an end, with the jab being the ultimate means to that end, man. The implementation of the jab nationwide and worldwide and mandate with these companies, that was always the goal, which that's not even the end of it. The end of it is the CHIP. You know what I'm saying? That's the end of it. So the jab is not even the means to the full end, but that was what they wanted to get going in everyday society, man, for a variety of different reasons, you know, as to why that I've been over in this lesson and in other lessons as well. But it's always been reason as to why. It's never just this is it, this is how it's always gonna be at all. Since the mandate signed the law in August by Republican Governor Charlie Baker via executive order, requires all employees to provide proof of C-19 jab on or before October 17th. Another hard deadline, man, in the state of Massachusetts with these state troopers, man, just like they do in New York with the teachers. Like that, hard deadlines are coming everywhere soon. This is just the beginning of it, man. This is just the beginning of it. It's gonna hit every different city and whatnot. You gotta be prepared for it. Let's go to Proverbs, the 22nd chapter. I might have brought this out already, but I want to bring it out again. This is Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 3. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. So, like scripture said, how long, my people, will you love simplicity? Prudency is rooted in the words of the Lord. Hiding yourself is hiding yourself in the words of the Lord, in the wisdom of the Most High, and the wisdom of the scriptures. That is hiding yourself. It's not talking about building a bunker and hiding yourself there. It's talking about the wisdom of the Lord, because that wisdom of the Lord is your shelter. You know what I'm saying? It's that strong tower, as it says in Proverbs 30th chapter in the 4th verse, where the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and are safe. So starting with the name of the Lord and then the wisdom associated with such name and power and whatnot, that's where you hide yourself, And a prudent man will foresee that evil and will hide himself in that. So we see what's going on right now. We see that all industries are getting touched, or all these quote unquote essential industries are getting touched. You don't think that it's coming to where you work. You don't think it's coming where I work, where you brothers that are listening work, where you brothers, anywhere, every field of endeavor, man. If you work in a space that has people around it, it's coming to you, It's just a matter of time in every state. Just because you're not in New York, and you got brothers in New York that's going to be affected by this. In LA, that's going to be affected by this. Or California, that's not going to be affected by this. Just because you're not in New York, California, or Chicago, or Illinois, the three major, spearheads for things in this country, don't mean it's not coming to you very soon. By the end of this year, or by beginning of 2022. So right now is the time, which we should have been doing, us as a nation as a whole should have been doing this, but right now is the time to be hiding yourself in the Lord, bear the wisdom in his name, and seeing the evil and I ain't with all that. Because, man, I'm telling you, if you don't do that, you don't hide yourself in that, man, you probably that temptation gonna get to you, and you probably gonna take it. Just be real. You probably gonna take it, man. It is what it is. You probably eventually gonna submit to it. If you got to have something to hold you off from that, man. And that has to be the wisdom of the scriptures. That's the only thing that's not subject to change. That's immovable, man. Everything else is immovable and subject to whatever change is associated with such. But this word of the Lord is immovable, and always going to be a mainstay. This also is gonna have effect on, basically, the retirement and the resignation of people of these police forces and whatnot. And also gonna have effect on the people in terms of them being able to have access to protection and emergency help when situations arise and whatnot. But that's a story for another day. But that's going to affect this as well. That as well. United Airlines. Nearly 600 United Airlines employees face termination for failing to comply with jab mandates. It says United has the strictest mandate of any U.S. airline and most of the country's companies. Some 2,000 of United's 67,000 U.S. staff sought exemptions to the mandate on religious or medical grounds. Of course, it didn't work. And said hundreds of employees uploaded their proof of jab shortly before the deadline. So, like I was just saying, in Proverbs 22nd chapter, in the third verse, will go to the prudent man foresee the evil and hideth himself. If you're not checking for that evil, you're not redeeming that time wisely, you're not hiding yourself, man, you're eventually gonna succumb to it, man. Because your life is gonna flash before your eyes, man. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah, the 17th chapter. This is Jeremiah 17 and 9. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? So your heart is deceitful, man. Your heart will deceive you, man. Your life flashes before your eyes. You start thinking, damn, how am I going to provide for myself, my family? How am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to do the things I need to take care of? You haven't been preparing yourself spiritually to get away from that moment, and you haven't already examined those outcomes in your head and what you're going to do. You haven't already prepared your plan. Okay, I'm going to do this. When this comes, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. You haven't prepared for that. You're just gonna take it, man. Because now your life is flashed before your eyes. So you don't, in your mind, you don't have no other option. Going to show your heart can deceive you. It may not be something you constantly really want to do, but your heart can deceive you, man. Because of circumstance. So I just wanted to hit that on that point right there. But it says United Airlines said Tuesday that 593 of its employees are facing termination for failing to comply with its C-19 jab policy, one of the strictest mandates for inoculation from a U.S. company. More than 96% of United's 67,000 person U.S. workforce complied with the jab requirement. The deadline to upload proof of inoculation or the first shot and receiving 2-dose jab was late Monday. So you didn't another hard line deadline, man. Another hard deadline. If you didn't get it by that, hey, you was done, man. You saw you ain't playing around, man. If you don't get this by this date, you done. You cannot work here anymore. Going to showing that you gotta, like we always be saying, you gotta submit fully to whatever he comes with, in order to operate in his society. Let's go to Daniel chapter. Actually, let's get through this, then I'll go there. It says roughly 2,000 United employees sought exemptions from the mandate, which the airline announced this summer for religious or medical reasons. The Chicago-based airline had said staff to whom it grants such exemption will be placed on temporary unpaid leave. So once again, as they're doing with New York hospital workers and school staff employees, you're getting placed on unpaid leave, or you're not going to be able to apply for unemployment. Basically, like I was just saying, giving you no option of money, receiving money from them if you don't submit to what they want you to do within their system. Basically, there's that temporary unpaid leave is just a time to give you some time to feel the pain of not bringing in that bread every week, so you can go take the jab. That's all it is, man. Giving you some time to feel that pain, feel your bread, that bread leaving you. Think about some other options, but really, feel that pain of that bread not being with you no more. That's what it's for, Feel that pain of that bread not you not having access to the bread no more. From that company, so that you can go make that decision, go take the jab. Because now you're looking at your bank account and you're saying, damn, I ain't worked in a month. I ain't worked in 2 months. My money's dwindling down. Fuck it. I'm going to just go take the jab. That's what they're trying to get you people to do. That's all the temporary unpaid leave is for. Because if it was paid leave, then you wouldn't go back. You know, if you can just get on unemployment, you wouldn't go back. But because it's unpaid leave, now people saying, fuck it, man. I'm down 1,000. I'm down 5. I'm down 3,000. Fuck, I need some money, you know, and they just go do it, man. They just submit themselves. That's why the prudent man sees the evil and hides himself before that shit come, man. Because their heart, like we just read in Jeremiah 17th chapter, your heart will deceive you when circumstances change. Your heart will deceive you. That's why you gotta have the wisdom and knowledge in your mind, you know, to guide your steps. It says unjabbed employees without exemptions face termination. That though that process could take weeks, this was an incredibly difficult decision. But keeping our team safe has always been our first priority. United Kirby and Hart said staff that didn't upload a proof of jab spanned various work groups such as pilots, flight attendants, and mechanics. A spokesman said declined to provide more details. So, I mean, they using that safety bullshit again. But I touched on that a little bit earlier, so I ain't gonna go into that. His employees fired for not getting jabbed would be terminated on the grounds of violating a company safety policy, which could make them ineligible for unemployment benefits. Like I said earlier, why would they give you unemployment benefits? Because you wouldn't go back anyway. It says dozens of employees have shared their jab cards with the company the final day for the deadline. Once again, man, you know, this is what most people are gonna do. It's gonna go all the way down to the deadline, an hour before the deadline. Ain't gonna say fuck it and go do it. You know, that's why you gotta hide yourself and you gotta prepare for the moments, man. What am I going? You gotta think about it. What am I gonna do when this situation comes up? What am I gonna do if my job requires this? You know, you brothers, we all need to be thinking about that. What am I gonna do when this situation actually comes, man? That way you're not tempted more to go do it. You know, and I want to get a precept on that real quick. I'm going to go to the book of Mark the 14th chapter. This is Mark chapter 14 and verse 38. Watch ye and pray, lest ye enter into temptation. The spirit truly is ready, but the flesh is weak. So the spirit is ready. You got the right spirit on. You don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? You know what the right thing to do is, but your flesh can your heart, you know, can turn you away, man. Like we just read in Jeremiah 17, the heart is deceitfully wicked. You know, the flesh can turn weak on you, man. You know, in a moment's notice, and you don't want to, you know, you don't want your flesh to turn weak on you in a moment where you need to make the right decision. That's why you got to pray and watch so you don't enter temptation, man. You know, and through that faith of praying and watching, you got to have the works associated with it, man. You know, you praying, you watching the times, and that watching goes into being prudent, you know, and hiding yourself in the Lord, and having your daily actions be curtailed towards that way. That way, when that time comes, because there's other circumstances going on in your life, you're not more tempted to go take the inoculation or to go get inoculated because your flesh got weak in that moment. You know, that's gonna be a lot of people when they gonna be against it, and then they job the very last moment they're gonna upload that jab card, man. You know. Now, AT&T, you know, AT&T mandates jab for union represented employees. So all your union represented employees at AT&T, man, you're gonna have to get it, man. You're gonna have to get it. And that's crazy too, because like a union is set up to protect the employees from that's this nigga, this dude the devil, man. This man is man. If Esau the devil, I don't know who the fuck is, man. Because a union is set up to protect the employees from, you know, from measures against the corporation, against the company that would be deemed unfair and you know unprofitable in the work environment, you know, for you as an individual and things of that nature. But they're telling the union representing employees, in order to basically be a part of our union and have these benefits from being in a union and whatnot, you got to get the jab. And basically be able to work for us in our union, you got to be able to get the jab. You got to go ahead and get the jab, man. You know? Mr. Sanjan 144 said, Matthew 10:39, he that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loses his life for my name, for my sake, shall find it. Con. Beautiful precept. We're trying to, you know, save our life in this world through taking the jab, through, you know, thinking ourselves, man, what am I going to do if this happens? Hey, man, you selling your soul, man. You know, you're selling your integrity and what you know to be right at the behest of pseudo protection from Esau Edom, showing that you don't really trust in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. It's all your faith is pseudo faith. It's fake faith. You know, that's why it says, he that loses his life for my sake shall find it. Because when you lose this world for Yahushua, or ultimately for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, you find what real life is really about. You find what, you know, reality actually is. You know that this life is just vanity and vexation of spirit, and you actually find light. Let's go to 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 5. I'll start at verse 4. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are all children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet, the hope of salvation. So, and I want to get verse 9 too. For the Most High hath not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation by our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach. So that goes right along with what Mr. Sanjan said. You know, he that findeth his life shall lose it. Because you ultimately, if you try to find your life in this world, man, you're trying to find darkness. You're trying to hold on to darkness, man. But if you lose darkness for light, if you lose darkness for Yahushua, ultimately you find light in the form of Yahushua. And that light, you know, which is the appointing, which is the appointing of Yahweh through his son Yahushua, is meant to give you salvation. You know, so he that finds his life shall lose it, and he that loses his life for my sake shall find it. Because we are the ones who have access to the light, because we are the children of light, being Israelites. You know, so the Most High instructs us not to walk in darkness, not to walk in the world, like it says in the class of scripture, 1 John 2 and 15 on down. You know, he that basically is one with this world, the love of the Father is not in him, man. You can't love the Father and love the world at the same time. You can't love the Father and always be trying to save your life in this world. You know, you can't love the Father and try to hold on to things of this world. You know, you got to choose one. You got to let one of them go. No man can serve two masters. He will love one and hate the other, as Yahushua said. You know, so it's going to show that in those, that's, we always bring out those scriptures. We always say that. But these times right now that we in show, where do you really stand on those scriptures, man? Where do you really stand in your faith? You know, are you really walking in the light, or are you masquerading that you walk in the light, but you're really walking in darkness? And that's going to be shown through your willingness to submit to Esau's system or trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. We saw Tazariak on ISUPK be at the forefront of Israel, said he took the job. Now, I don't know if he did it or not. In my opinion, they sold out. So the nigga could just been bullshitting and trying to get Jake and being used to get Jake to sell out and to get Jake to take the jab. He could be. I don't know though. The nigga said he took the jab. But that's a prime example of right there of looking to save your life in this world, looking to still build something up in this world and not being willing and have the mindset to give it all up. Being what? You're not watching and being sober. Because if you are watching and you are being sober-minded, you're watching the prophecies, watching the evils, paying attention to what's going on. If you were in that mindset, you would know that this jab is not something you should be doing. You would know the dangers that's coming along with it. And you would know that ultimately, man, even if you do get sick, man, the Most High's got you. Doesn't the scripture say in Sirach 39, I believe it's I think it's Sirach 39th chapter, but let me see real quick. It's Sirach 38th chapter. It's Sirach 38 and 4. The Lord have created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. So the Most High created forms of medicines, even if you do get sick, that has nothing to do with Esau's pharmakia, man. Herbs you could take. Now you would have to research that on your own, or ask the brothers that are very well versed in that you can trust, to give you an opinion on that. You know what I'm saying? When I was sick, like 2 months ago, a lot of brothers, in the Discord, shout out to the brother J2K, shout out to the brother Chris, shout out to brother D-Ben. And if I'm forgetting anyone else, shout out to brother Hitman, that kind of gave me some advice on some things that I should take, to help get better, man. Because the Most High created those medicines out the earth, man. And ultimately, when you trust in that, you're trusting in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, because the alternative is Esau's pharmakia. Now, I'm not saying you take an Advil or take an ibuprofen or Motrin. I'm not saying you're going off. I ain't saying that. Sometimes, man, it's hard, man. It's like you in a lot of pain, and that if you just pop that Advil real quick, you'll feel better pretty soon. Sometimes it's tough, when you do it. But ultimately, at its highest level, that's talking about, his wicked devices that he bringeth to pass. Let's go to Psalm 37 chapter, because that's what that's talking about ultimately. It's a Psalm chapter 37, and I'm gonna start at verse 3. Trust in the Lord and do good. Trust in the Lord and do good. So shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Commit thy ways unto the Lord, and trust in him, and he shall bring it to pass. And he that shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and as a judgment at the noonday. Rest in the Lord, and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospered in his way, because of the man who brings wicked devices to pass. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself, any wise to do evil. So, we got to take that in heavy consideration. Or not consideration, we got to do that, man. Because if you are trying to find your life, man, you're not waiting patiently for the Lord, man. You're trying to find your life. In this world, you're aligning yourself with someone who is prospering in the way of the Lord, doing evil, man. You're lining yourself up with that, man. You're being one with it, with that power structure being this beast system structure. That Roman Empire revived, that fourth beast, man, revived. That beast that coming from the field, man. That's this structure, this system. You're lining yourself up with that. If you're not waiting on the Lord, you're waiting on somebody. You're giving it up to somebody. Someone's gonna be some provision. We can't all do it on our own all the time. When you're down, you got to rely on somebody. If you don't rely on the Lord, if you don't rely on the Lord, you rely on the world. There's no in between in that, man. That's why the scriptures say, "Cease from anger, forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil." Not fret not thyself in any wise to do evil. Meaning what? When you're in a moment of thinking what's going to happen, you kind of scared, you kind of up in arms or whatnot. You kind of pondering what's your next move gonna be. You anxious. Don't fret thyself, because your faith is supposed to lie with your Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Fretting yourself and being scared, it's gonna cause you to do evil. It's gonna cause you to eventually go take that jab, man. It's gonna cause you to not wait on the patience of the Lord. Ultimately, you try to find your life. Finding your life is akin to or synonymous with doing that evil. Because in order to find your life in this world, in the times we're in right now, you have to submit yourself to the whims of Esau, which is evil, and against the word and against the ways of the Lord. But we'll get that in Daniel 7. But I want to go to this real quick as well. Yes, almost all the articles. I might cover that one, but actually, I'm gonna get that in another video, the basketball ones. But I want to get Daniel 7, and then I'm gonna go ahead and round it out. Go to Daniel the 7th chapter. This is Daniel the 7th chapter, and I'm gonna go to the 23rd verse. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. It's a lot. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are the 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them. And he shall be diverse from the first. He shall subdue 3 kings, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. So I want to get that right there, because we're living in that revived, fourth beast. We're living in that's also talking about we're living in that revived Roman Empire, man. And what do we see as a product of that? As it says, he shall speak great words against the Most High. So what is, it's fitting. I'm on this page right here. Let's go to this face. You're one of the faces of the Roman Empire, the revived Roman Empire right here, man, with Joe Biden, wearing out the saints, the saints being the Israelites, trying to chop us up to be the face of CV. And we're not using their puppets to do so in the NBA and various leagues, but I'll cover that in another video. And also speaking great words and great wonders against the Most High. The scriptures tell us, let's go to the law. Let's go to the law, man. This is Leviticus chapter 21 and verse 5. They shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corn of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh. So when you take the jab, man, that's making a cutting in your flesh, man. So just from the law standpoint alone, you're not supposed to be getting the jab. Just from that alone, you're not supposed to be getting that jab, man. Not then on top of that, all the bullshit that's in it, man, all the dead particles, all the DNA alteration, white cell, a white blood cell of removal, antibody deterioration, the mRNA gene transformation, basically altering your DNA, altering your genes, gene therapy. That's what this is, making you lose your faith, lining yourself up further with this beast, subconsciously viewing him as a savior. That's what it's doing. Speaking words against the Most High, because the Most High is supposed to be the one that saves us. as Mr. Sean John brought out earlier in Psalm 119. Better put the trust in the Lord than hope in man. You know, so speaking great words against the Most High, showing what? Complete power, man. And I want to get another precept on that real quick. Because they speak with great prowess and with great power against the Most High. I can't find the one I was looking for. Maybe if the spirit gets me back to it, I'll get it. But they speak great power, against the Most High. So that's really, them speaking those great words against him. So that's that beast right there, man. Something that's a beast that has great power. They're able to introduce mass influence on the earth through their structure, man. Actually, I think I remember where it was that I wanted. Yep, it was. It was Revelation 13. Revelation 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. He had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he exercised all the power of the beast before him. So this other beast is talking about Babylon, man. That revived fourth beast, that revived Roman Empire. That spoke words against the Most High. So they take those words against the Most High and speak great power, and use that and that power structure they have to implement and influence and a power structure against the Most High into the world, man. And it says, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. So it's going to show this is Babylon all over again, because that first beast is Babylon. When you go back to Daniel, the 7th chapter, it says the first was like a lion. I'm gonna go to the third verse. And four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. I held till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth and made stand upon the feet of as a man, and his heart as a man's heart was given to it. And that first beast is the ancient Babylonian Empire, and this is the modern day Babylonian Empire. It is also the modern day Roman Empire, the revived Roman Empire, the Neo-Roman Empire, whatever, the reincarnated empire, reverberated, whatever term you want to use. This is that all over again, with that same power and even more power. And with power comes influence. You have the power to influence, because it says they speak words against the Most High. So you got the power to influence people away from the Most High. And that's what they do. They take people away from the Lord via their structure, their mandates, the things that we're seeing in everyday society, man. Having faith in them, trusting in flesh. Let's go to Jeremiah the 17th chapter. This is Jeremiah 17 and 5. Thus saith the Lord, cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and who maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from the Lord. But that's what Esau Edom tells you to do. Just speak there, and that's a lot of people are influenced by that power, that power structure and words against the Most High. So now they're being influenced against the Most High, especially Jake, man. That's what it says. He wears out the saints. The saints are Israelites. By telling you to trust in man and to make flesh your arm, man. Your protection. Trust completely in the carnal and none in the physical and none in the spiritual. Which let's go to Romans the 8th chapter. because that's all against what the Lord tells us to do. But this man doesn't regard the Lord. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. This is Romans 8:5. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High, for it is not subject to the law of the Most High, neither indeed can be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please the Most High. So Esau Edom tells you to trust in flesh, to trust in the carnal, everything, to trust in the physicians of this world who come in the form of carnality and fleshly what's what I'm looking for? Solutions. You know, that's not pursuant to the words of the Lord, though. But that's what they promote, and they influence society to go in that direction. Proving once again that, going back to Daniel 7, that spake great words. They spake great words against the Most High and wear at the saints, and think to change the times and laws. They think they want to switch up what they want to switch from tell you everything against the laws of the Most High. They want to influence you to not regard the laws of the Most High. They want to influence you to accept their changes in society and tie that into the scriptures to change the laws of the Most High. Tell you that such and such can be with such and such. You know what I'm saying? The ABCD can thrive. You know, and there's no wickedness involved in that. That's changing the laws of the Most High. You know, and ultimately trusting and relying in scientific, so quote unquote, scientific advancement, you know, for your protection and your safety, which is also against the Most High, and trusting in that flesh, which is also against the Most High. You know, and that comes with, because they are the power structure, that comes with mass amount of influence. So they wear out the saints, and they influence brothers and sisters against, you know, what the Most High stipulates for us to do. And his stipulations for our salvation, being trusting and relying on him and his son. So that is that influence, man, that they got, you know, and that shows in great wonders, those wonders and whatnot. Like it says in the 13th chapter, you know, they basically, the advancements and things like that, people view as, oh, this is a wonderful thing. Oh, they came to safety so quickly. They come to save us so quickly. They got this jab out in such a little amount of time. Look at that, man. Now I can feel safe. That's the average. That's the mindset of the average dimwit individual, man. You know. I want to go to Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter, real quick, and then I'm going to wrap this up. Shalom to my Ak, Young High Flyers, aka Ash, Ibad. Shalom, brother Yahweh Bashmi Al Shai Bakatha to you, and to Water for tuning in and check out this lesson, brother. But go to Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter. Then I'm going to end this. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 12, and I'm going to go to verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. So that in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, you know, those strong men bowing themselves, that's going to these people, these high-ranking people, man. You know, these people just bowing the knee, man, bowing the knee of Baal, man. You know, proverbially and spiritually, by lining themselves up with his system, by taking his wicked devices, you know, by submitting themselves to be test dummies and guinea pigs to his to his wicked devices and his structure, you know. And they, you know what I'm saying, just this society, man, this beast system, you know, this power structure per se. And the grinders shall cease because they are few. You know, people ain't working, man. You know, we see people, you know, the grinding cease. You know, people getting fired from their jobs. You know, people for not taking the jab. They bring in a National Guard because of a shortage of workers. You know, we read in the article in the Massachusetts that dozens of state troopers in Massachusetts are resigning because not taking a jab, and it's coming to everybody's job, man. Everyone's job is coming to. Ain't no one safe from this, man. It's coming to everybody's job. You know, it's not just gonna be in New York. It's not gonna stop in New York and Cali. It's gonna be everywhere. Grinding is gonna be low everywhere, man. That grind is just going into working, man. You know, we always use the term, you know, when brothers bring this out, grind, as you know, Jake be saying, I'm on my grind. You know, aka I'm about my business. I'm working. You know, that's what that's going into. The grind is gonna be low. You know, this is what's gonna come in these last days. So we're seeing people not have people, you know, stores closing down and shit from C-19, people not having jobs, people getting fired from their jobs, big time corporations. Oh, this is the article. I missed this one. This is what I wanted to get right here as well. It says Biden's jab mandate to be enforced by fining companies 70,000 to 700,000. A lot of these big time companies are in major debt, man. Major debt. You know? And now on top of that, Biden gonna tax them for not enforcing jab mandates, which is gonna cause, you know, them to have less employees, which means they're not making as much money, which means they have less money to give out, which means they have less jobs available. You know, which is gonna also cause grinding to cease. So there's a variety of different ways that's coming to fruition, man. I just want to touch on that real quick because I got another video that's gonna go into that. But continuing on, it says, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, and the door shall be shut in the streets, made no opportunity. You know what I'm saying? There's not gonna be opportunity to be, because the jab mandates, man. If you don't want to submit yourself to that, you know, that door is shut for you, man, and you can't get in. You know, you can't operate in their system. That shit is shut for you, man. You know, you gotta find another way. That's what they're telling you, man. Hey, if you don't want to submit to me, you gotta find another way. They're not gonna let you get unemployment. They're gonna get you unpaid leave, temporary unpaid leave. Well, that's just a time, an opportunity they're giving you to rethink things, see how things are going, quote unquote, how they want things to go negatively for you in your life. You know how the bread coming in, the bills still coming in, and you say, fuck it, I'm gonna go get it. Then that door is gonna be open to you again. But unless you submit to them, that door is shut for you, man. When the sound of the grinding is low, you know, going to that working again, you know, and also this is also going into just, you know, the structure as a whole. You know what I'm saying? How this system is gonna fall and fail when it no longer has the workers to uphold the structure of this society. And he shall rise up the voice of the bird and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. I'm not gonna cover that part right there. But yeah, man, you know, we see what's going down. As we always say, the mirth of the land is ceasing, you know, and people are no longer, you know, people starting to get a big time reality check via these mandates. We've been telling y'all this was coming. I'm gonna read Ezekiel 33 one more time. The Spirit's just on me to bring that out, so I'm gonna bring it out again. Ezekiel 33, because this is so important, you know, for our people to understand and realize. Ezekiel 33 and 30, because only gonna get worse from here, man. And it's coming. It's in these particular pocketed areas right now, but it's coming everywhere. It's Ezekiel 33 and 30. Also, thou son of man, the children of thy people are still against thee by the walls and in the doors of the houses, and speak one to another, everyone to his brother, saying, come, I pray you, and hear what is the word that cometh forth from the Lord. And they come unto thee as the people cometh, and they sit before thee as many people, and they hear thy words, but they will not do them. For with their mouth they show much love, but their heart goeth after covetousness. And lo, thou art unto them a very lovely song, that hath a pleasant voice, and can play well on an instrument. For they hear thy words, but they do them not. And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. Lo, it will come. Then shall they have known or know that a prophet hath been among them. So when that time comes, man, they're gonna know that, man, there was a prophet among them, man. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna know that. But what does that entail? Those words, man. Those words of righteousness and the warnings, and also the warnings and the prophecies coming to light, coming to pass, that brothers are speaking, that brothers are letting our people know via reading the scriptures, via, the words of the Most High, letting our people know that, hey, this is coming, man. It's going to come everywhere. It's not just going to be, it's not going to halt at these pocketed areas of the country, and it's going to stop there, and basically everything gonna go back to normal. Nah, man. They want a complete takeover. They want a complete change of the guard, and they're willing to have people die off at the behest of that, man. They're willing to have people suffer for that, man. In fact, people suffering and dying off is good for them because that lowers the population, which they want. So it's very important to take heed to the words of that pleasant song, as it says, and not just hear the words, but do them as well. So with that, I want to give all the praises, the glory, and the honor to the Most High Yahweh, doing so in the name of His only begotten Son, Bahashem Yahweh Shah. Lord will, this lesson was edifying for the hopeful elect of the nation Israel and the nation Israel only. Shalom, Abab, Abba, Kam Yasharala. Keep the faith.